So we have What to Watch For presented by Sling. This one's at noon on ESPN. It is my Admiral Akbar special. That's right. It's a trap. Ari has no idea what that reference means. Admiral
it's
Akbar.
a Star Wars thing, though, because I know that I use
He's
it.
He's the one who looks like a squid. His species is called Mon Calamari. I actually think his planet is called Mon Calamari. And he's the one who says, it's a trap. And
I see it all the time on gambling Twitter.
Yes, this is a trap. LSU, 3-point favorite at Arkansas. Wait, you're saying, aren't you guys saying that LSU is going to make the playoff? Why are they only a field goal favorite against a team that just lost to Liberty at home? Because it's a trap.
So are you rolling Arkansas here?
No, I think LSU wins, but I think Vegas thinks it's a trap for sure.
Yeah, I think that it's kind of one of those things where when I see a line like this, like the temptation is to just go all in and just be like, you know what, there's no way that LSU isn't at least a field goal better than Arkansas. But then it feels super weird to me because you would think that the line would be 7 or something like that. And then I realize that, you know, hey, this could be, like you said, a trap. So I like to watch the game live. It's like one of those games, too, where LSU is going to have a bunch of offsides penalties and a punter is going to muff a punt. And it's like, I don't know how Vegas predicts it, but, you know, LSU, you know, y'all think that LSU can beat Georgia. I think that LSU has to worry about beating Arkansas first because there's an absolute real life potential that they could lose this football game based on what the line is telling us. And I say this to Andy all the time. I said it to him before the Notre Dame Clemson game last week. I said, "Hey, I look at this. This is Vegas telling you what's going to happen before it happens." And sure enough, it happened. So I would not take this game with my own personal money, but I'm going to have to pick LSU just because it's kind of like one of those things at a poker table where you're playing, you've got a really good hand, and somebody raises you, and sometimes you just call them demanding to see what they have.
Yeah, I think so as well. But this kind of reminds me of, was it just last week where K-State was coming off of that 48-0 win over Oklahoma State,
Texas,
and they were dogs, and everyone was like, well, that doesn't make much sense. And like, this is obviously we should go with K-State. And I picked Texas in that game because, you know, it just feels like in college sports, and you talk to any coach and they'll talk about it, but the volatility of having 18 to 23-year-olds go week in and week out, and the highs and the lows and everything that might affect the way a team plays is pretty great. So I'm going to take LSU in this, but I do think the idea of a letdown, a trap game, all of those things are very real, especially after we've been patting LSU on the back for a week.
You've got a youngish team that is kind of still learning its way, that just had the biggest win of the season, going to play a goodish team that just lost the game it shouldn't have to an opponent that it shouldn't have even come close to losing to.
Well, and we got this question in the live chat as we're doing this live YouTube show, and the question is like, can LSU beat Georgia? I mean, this is part of the problem, right? Like, you can easily now look forward and say, like, there is a path to LSU making the playoff. Like, all of that has changed in the last week, and so it's very easy to say, oh, you get caught looking ahead.
Also, LSU can't lose, because if they lose this game and Ole Miss were to beat Alabama and win out the rest of the way, Ole Miss would be the SEC West champ. Now, Alabama's lost 2 SEC games, so LSU can have 2 SEC losses and still win the West as long as Alabama beats Ole Miss.
If LSU loses this game on Saturday, it's just going to be like Alabama is a cockroach that just will not die. Because it's basically opening up the door for Alabama to sneak back into the SEC championship game, because they would only need LSU to lose one more time after this. And like, you're looking at their schedule, and it's just like they're not supposed to lose any of the games that they have remaining. If they lose this first one, it's like Alabama is just one win and an LSU loss.
They can't lose.
I don't think LSU is going to beat Georgia, but I'm really feeling good about LSU against Texas A&M. If we're going to really look ahead, I'm okay with that.
I mean, what if Texas A&M gets healthy? The flu passes. Connor Wegman has the game. I mean, like, it's not like they're playing Vandy. Like, they're playing a team that they could theoretically lose to.
Yeah, I'm never going to back A&M the rest of the season at this point.
No, there's no reason to back them, but I'm saying if LSU loses to Arkansas, you don't think there's like this creeping emotion in the back of college football's head saying, hey, is Alabama going to sneak their way back into Atlanta now?
This is why I've been saying I think we're headed towards a playoff without Alabama and Clemson, but you have to be careful.
They won't die.
They never die.
What does Dead May Never Die? Oh, sorry.
Because honestly, like if Alabama wins the SEC this year,
Ironborn in Game of Thrones.
If Alabama wins the SEC this year, they're going to the playoff. I got news for you. So the only way to keep them out of the Jort, because if they get to Atlanta somehow, I'm picking them to beat them.
Okay, let's not. We are jumping way too far ahead.
Just stop,
are
Ari,
lots
just
of trap.
We're
games.
talking about a trap.
I know.
It's a trap.
I know. It's a trap. It's a trap. It's a trap.
I love how this is just letting me go all sci-fi fantasy and drive Ari crazy because I've now made Star Wars references, Game of Thrones references.
But they're
Do you
going
like
over
Star
his
Wars,
head.
Nicole?
No, not Star Wars. But
Do you like
Game of
sci-fi?
Thrones I watched.
Do you like comic book movies?
Yeah, so I did a full-on MCU watch last year.
What does MCU
I'd only
mean?
watched a couple
The
of those
Marvel
movies.
Comics universe.
You didn't know what the MCU was?
No,
oh
I
my
don't.
god.
Sorry.
But yeah, so then I watched them all in timeline order. So now, yeah, I'm in. I'm
You liked
all
them?
in.
You were enjoying it?
Yeah, I did.
It's weird.